I know it might seem crazy, but we were under the impression that government officials had to keep records. That may not be the case, though, in California, where fallout from the wildfires is such that industries and companies are fleeing in a way that we have never seen before. Now we're finding out that Mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, who was tasked with helping protect the residents of the City of Angels, well, she just can't find those darn pesky text messages from when the fires broke out.
The LA Times says it filed a request for all text messages Bass received about the fires while she was on a trip to Africa, but we're told there were no records of any texts.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome yet again to another video of pure, unbridled excellence right here on the Pro Channel. It is a joy to have you with us, and let's get started. As you click the like button, we're going to get started in, well, here we go. LA Mayor Karen Bass accused of deleting texts in wake of wildfire disaster. This is out of Fox News. It says, Miss Bass was on a trip to Africa when the Palisades fire erupted on January 7th. It's by Stephen Soros. Here's what it says. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass deleted her text messages from the first days of the deadly wildfires that destroyed multiple communities in January, according to a report. Bass was on a trip to Africa for the swearing in of Ghana's president when the Palisades fire erupted on January 7th. The mayor did not get back into the city until January 8th. While Bass and her office have said that she was in constant communications with officials during that 24-hour period of travel, her text messages from that time no longer exist. Her phone, you're going to love this, folks. Her phone is set not to save text messages, city lawyer David Michelson told the newspaper. Wowza. Adding that Bass' phone has auto-deleted text messages for at least 2 years. I'm sorry, are we back in Atlanta right now with that whole ordeal where, boyfriends or something? I kid. Listen, folks, here's the deal. You're a government official and your phone is set to automatically delete text messages. You're firing the fire chief. You have entire industries fleeing your city. An area the size of Paris burned to the ground, and your phone is set to auto-delete the records that were FOIA'd, right? Freedom of Information Request. Folks, let's go now to let's get the news on this, okay? This is from Kevin Dalton, and he's sharing out on X, ABC7. Here's the clip.
Text messages Mayor Bass sent and received about the Palisades fire were not saved. The LA Times says it filed a request for all text messages Bass received about the fires while she was on a trip to Africa, but we're told there were no records of any texts. The mayor's office says Bass's phone is not set to save text messages. Despite both state and city law requiring government officials to save official communications, Eyewitness News requested copies of these texts, and our team was not made aware that they were deleted and told any response records would be produced by.
Now, folks, let me just tell you, this would not work with your teenage daughter. You know that. Imagine if you asked your teenage daughter, where were you last night? Were you with your boyfriend? Where were you? Were you with your friends? Were you out doing things you should not have been doing? Were you about places that you should not have been, with little doubt? If your teenage daughter or your son will be equal on both sides of this, if their response to you was, I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for you. My phone is set to auto-delete the text messages. I can't help you, mommy dearest. I can't help you, poppy dearest, for my phone does not save the text messages. Folks, you would not allow that from a teenager. We are talking about the the mayor of Los Angeles. We're talking about a major city official who has overseen the destruction of an area the size of the city of Paris. We're talking about someone who saw the destruction of an area larger than Manhattan. And she can't produce the text messages for you as people flee her state and her city. She can't produce the text messages so that you can see what it was that people were saying as the fires broke out. She can't produce it because her phone is set to auto delete them. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. All right, folks, here's more. Here's more.
Absolutely, because they're crazy. Hey, Karen, you want to talk about why you deleted your text? Why did you delete your text, Karen? Karen, why did you unlawfully delete your text, Karen?
Crickets, how about that? That's from Recall Karen Bass Now. So we're not pretending that account is unbiased, but we're also not pretending that, this is a problem. It's a big problem. I'm not saying that Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, that she personally deleted the text messages. What I am saying is that they're telling you that it was set to auto-delete, right? That's what happened. Auto-delete. Just like you in your own life that you do, if you're up to nefarious purposes. All right, out of the Hollywood Reporter, this is by Julie Pleck and Sarah Adina Smith. It says, how can Hollywood stop a production exodus? A showrunner and the creator of the Stay in LA petition offer 10 ideas to keep film and TV projects in California. What this is all about is, and this is back from February, but we want to bring this up because it's pertinent. People are fleeing. They're out of here. And this kabuki theater that is Los Angeles, the city, and we want to separate the residents, of course, from the government officials. There are many innocent people, and they deserve better than this. But in February, there were efforts to try to save the city, keep people from leaving, stop the industries from going elsewhere. But that's what's happening. Companies and productions, Hollywood is getting out of Hollywood. They're going to Georgia. They're going to Canada. They're done. And guess what? This is before people knew, our government officials apparently just have their text messages set to auto-delete so that you can't ever figure out what it is they were doing. They are less accountable than your teenage child. It says, stay alive till 25. That was the battle cry of an industry post-COVID. The strikes and a collective depression. We can rebuild. This was the hope of legions of writers, drivers, vendors, actors, electricians, costumers, builders, location managers, production assistants, union members, caterers, small business owners, all who have taken hit after hit, year after year as streaming bubbles burst, jobs shrunk, then disappeared. Then 25 arrived. Our communities burned and rebuild took on a whole new meaning. And it says at the bottom of that paragraph, we also need to rebuild our lost purpose. Imagine, folks, if you're an LA resident, because most of our listeners are not. Many of you are, and we feel deeply, deeply sympathetic for your plight right now. But imagine if you were an LA resident and your house was burned to the ground. And not only is it burned to the ground, but it's so bad that your property may not be inhabitable. As The Nation says, March 11th. That's today, time of release. Kate Wagner, the author here. Imagine that your property has burned to the ground. And imagine that it's not even inhabitable anymore. You can't go back. The soil is so contaminated from all of the junk and chemicals that were burned into it. You literally can't go back. And the value of your property has been decimated. And the rules that are, quote unquote, supposed to protect you mean that you might not even be able to sell this now plot of useless land that you couldn't even grow a lemon tree on it. So you've been utterly wiped out in every way possible. And it's not because climate change. It's because there wasn't water, because they couldn't spray water. Were the conditions the greatest? No. Because if the conditions were greatest, this wouldn't have happened. But bad weather conditions happen. And when those happen, and when fires begin, for whatever reason that they begin, water is the antidote that prevents destruction. And in this case, there was limited water, is what we're told. But imagine that you own that plot of land. You own that plot of now useless dirt. And the government officials are going to skirt you yet again because they don't even have to keep their text messages. Will they be held accountable? Probably not. Should they be? Without a doubt. Reading this, it says, this is by The Nation, it says, insurers have figured out that the risk is too high in parts of California. We need to reconceive how people are housed and fast. Well, I don't really know what that means other than to say that you house people in houses. But it says, the numbers coming out of Los Angeles County are staggering. More than 16,000 buildings destroyed, 2,000 structures damaged, 150,000 people ordered to evacuate. Whole swaths of Pacific Palisades and Altadena have been wiped off the map, obliterated. Along with them, basic shelter, countless families' primary source of wealth, and the incalculable loss of memories, sensations, routines, possessions, and a sense of normalcy. But in California, there will be likely no answers given for how this happened. No accountability because the messages are gone, the communication's out. Your FOIAs, I'm sorry, they're not held to the same rules that you are. If you did this, you would be in so much trouble, but you're not Karen Bass. And the industries, the leaders, the major corporations, the studios, they're not you. And though they may send out their comedians and their celebrities to cry for you on TV, they'll just go elsewhere. They're just going to Georgia or to Canada or wherever they might want to go, to Austin, somewhere that's run in a competent manner, even though they're the ones largely who made California incompetent in the first place. And in the end, it is the innocents, it is the little man, the little woman, the person who is scraping by, who gets scraped off the shoe of these people who are not held to the same rules. Hopefully, California will come to heal to a better future where they actually have to follow rules, laws, legislation, and where things make sense not only from the bottom of society, but also from the top down. It is yet a reminder of why it is so important for integrity and for principles to exist and for people to be held to honest account. Can you imagine it? Can you imagine, folks, before this happened, telling somebody, yes, an area the size of the city of Paris can burn down and not one person held accountable because they simply allowed their text messages to disappear. It's a story I fear we've heard before. We'll hear again. Accountability is needed. And in the meantime, entertainment, Hollywood, the studios, they will leave California. They will give it different names. They will do it in the dead of night. They will tell you that they're just going out for another production, shoot somewhere else, but their headquarters are always in California, and they will always truly be part of the Golden State. But they'll be gone. They'll just hold a symbolic seat in the Golden State. Folks, that is the sad news. It's too late for those who lost their homes, and California is suffering right now out of total incompetence and perhaps completely malicious and malignant incompetence. All right, folks, that is the video of the day. We hope you're avoiding the corruption that has come the way of California. Folks, wherever you are, we hope you're having a great time. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, until the next time, we have the honor and the joy of spending time with you. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
This is Wilton the Troll reporting for That's Park Place, and I'm surrounded by loving and adoring people who are peacefully trying to make sure that poor kids aren't cold in the winter. And just behind me, you can see a totally natural bonfire for baking cookies or making marshmallows.
Yeah, so, Wilton, we really appreciate the effort and stuff, but we're looking for real and, accurate news reporting on that Park Place.
So not like most news outlets, huh?
No.